There comes a moment in every life when we are confronted by the face of fear. It could be the dread of failure, the looming presence of uncertainty, the icy grip of loss, or the heavy weight of responsibility. Fear can overwhelm us, driving us into the corners of our own minds, suffocating our will to act, to persevere. But what if we could face fear without flinching? What if, even in the most pressing of circumstances, we could maintain clarity, calm, and unshakable courage? This is the question that Stoicism seeks to answer. Not through abstract ideas or lofty ideals, but through lived action, through the practice of virtue under pressure. The ancient Stoics, men like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, did not write their thoughts in the comfort of ivory towers. They were generals, slaves, emperors, and advisors, living in a world as chaotic, uncertain, and fearsome as ours. They faced war, exile, loss, and betrayal, and yet they moved through life with a calm that came from within, rooted in an unshakable philosophy of courage. Fear is not the enemy, our perception of it is. At the heart of Stoic thought is a realization so simple, yet so profound, that it can change how we engage with fear altogether. It is this: fear itself is not the enemy. It is our perception of fear, and our reaction to it, that either weakens us or strengthens us. As Epictetus wrote, men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them. Fear, by itself, is neutral. It is an emotion, a reflex meant to alert us to danger. But what makes fear destructive is the way we allow it to dominate our thoughts, to overtake our reason, and to erode our sense of purpose. We see fear as an invincible force, something we cannot overcome. But Stoicism teaches that we are not slaves to our emotions. We can control how we respond to fear, how we interpret its presence, and how we act despite its weight. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, understood this deeply. Leading Rome during times of plague, war, and internal unrest, Marcus Aurelius faced more than his share of fearsome circumstances. Yet in his meditations, he reminds himself, and us, that we have the power to stand firm. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. This is where true courage begins, not by eliminating fear, but by mastering how we perceive it. We can choose to see fear as a foe that paralyzes us, or we can see it as an opportunity to test our strength, to grow, to become more than we were before. The Stoic virtue of courage, action in the face of fear. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the determination to act rightly in spite of it. For the Stoics, courage was one of the four cardinal virtues, alongside wisdom, justice, and temperance, and it was not limited to the battlefield or moments of great public heroism. It was a daily practice, a choice to act with integrity and resolve no matter the challenges we face. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher and statesman, offers us a vision of courage that is deeply practical. In his letters, he speaks of fortitude not as an emotion, but as a practice. Sometimes even to live is an act of courage. To live courageously means to face the mundane trials of life, the disappointments, the losses, the frustrations, and remain undeterred. It is the courage to endure suffering without bitterness, to confront obstacles without complaint, and to pursue what is right, even when it is difficult. This kind of courage does not come from external rewards or recognition. It comes from a deeper place, from the realization that the only thing truly within our control is our own will. The Stoics believed that external events, fate, chance, misfortune, are beyond our power to control. But how we respond, how we choose to act in the face of adversity, that is always within our power. As Epictetus put it, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This understanding transforms the nature of fear. Fear thrives on uncertainty and the unknown. But when we accept that external events are not ours to command, fear loses its grip. We no longer waste our energy worrying about what might happen, what could go wrong, or what we cannot change. Instead, we focus our attention on what we can do, how we can respond, and how we can live in alignment with our highest principles. The role of self-control in overcoming fear. The Stoic practice of courage is inseparable from the practice of self-control. Fear often arises when we lose control either of our environment or our emotions. But the Stoics knew that true freedom comes not from controlling the world around us, but from mastering ourselves. The greater our self-control, the less power fear has over us. Self-control, in Stoic philosophy, means governing our desires, emotions, and impulses with reason. It means not allowing ourselves to be swept away by anger, panic, or despair when things do not go as we wish. It means standing firm in our values and principles, even when fear whispers in our ear, urging us to abandon them for the sake of comfort or safety. Hold fast to this alone, writes Marcus Aurelius, and remember it, each of us lives only now, this brief instant. The rest has been lived already, or is impossible to see. This passage, like many in his meditations, is a call to focus on the present moment. Fear often pulls us into the future, into what may happen, what could go wrong. But the Stoics remind us that the future is beyond our grasp. All we have is the present moment, and in this moment, we can choose self-control. We can choose to remain steadfast, to act with integrity, to not let fear dictate our actions. This kind of self-mastery does not come easily. It requires discipline, reflection, and a constant return to our principles. But with practice, it is possible to cultivate a mind that is calm under pressure, that sees clearly even in the face of fear. Stoic acceptance, the power of letting go. One of the most liberating aspects of Stoicism is its teaching on acceptance. The Stoics believed that much of human suffering comes from our refusal to accept things as they are. We resist reality, wishing that it were different, and in doing so, we create unnecessary suffering for ourselves. But acceptance, true acceptance, gives us the strength to face fear with a calm heart. This does not mean passivity or resignation. The Stoics were not advocates of apathy. They believed in action, in striving to improve the world and ourselves. But they also believed in accepting what we cannot change. As Epictetus teaches, make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. To accept what is beyond our control is to free ourselves from the grip of fear. When we understand that certain things, our circumstances, the actions of others, the course of nature, are not within our power to control, we stop wasting our energy on them. Instead, we direct our focus to what is within our power, our own actions, our own choices, our own virtue. This is the essence of Stoic courage. It is not about conquering the world or bending reality to our will. It is about accepting the world as it is, and finding the strength within ourselves to act with integrity, with fortitude, and with peace of mind. The red thread of courage, a Stoic path forward. To be fearless, in the Stoic sense, is not to be without fear. It is to recognize that fear is a part of life, but it does not have to rule us. We can face fear with courage, not by denying its presence, but by mastering our response to it. This mastery comes from understanding that fear is born of our perceptions, and we have the power to change those perceptions. It comes from the daily practice of courage, from acting with resolve even in the smallest of trials. It comes from self-control, from the ability to govern our own emotions and impulses. And it comes from acceptance, from the wisdom to let go of what we cannot control and focus on what we can. In the end, the Stoic guide to courage under pressure is not a set of rules or techniques. It is a way of life, a path that we walk every day, in every moment. It is a path that leads us not away from fear, but through it, towards a deeper understanding of ourselves, our strength, and our place in the world. As we face the pressures of life, let us remember the words of Seneca: difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. Each challenge, each moment of fear, is an opportunity to grow stronger, to become more resilient, to cultivate the virtue of courage. And as we walk this path together, let us hold fast to the Stoic belief that we are capable of more than we realize. Fear may come, but it does not define us. It is our courage, our will, and our wisdom that shape who we are. In the face of fear, we stand firm. We endure. And in enduring, we become fearless. Conclusion. In the grand scheme of life, fear is inevitable. It will come in many forms: uncertainty, loss, pain, failure. But while fear is an inescapable companion, it is not an unconquerable one. The Stoic path teaches us that true courage does not arise from eliminating fear, but from facing it with unwavering resolve. Through self-control, we can tame our emotions. Through wisdom, we can shift our perceptions. Through acceptance, we can embrace the things beyond our control. And through daily practice, we can nurture a quiet, unshakable strength that carries us through even the darkest of moments. The Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, have shown us the way. They have lived through fear, felt its weight, and yet emerged with the fortitude to persevere. We, too, can walk this path. In every challenge, we can find the opportunity to grow, to act with integrity, and to embody the timeless virtue of courage. Let us remember, fear is not our enemy, but an invitation to become stronger. As we confront the pressures of life, let us stand together, fearless, unbowed, and resolute. In overcoming fear, we do not only survive, we thrive. And in doing so, we become who we are truly meant to be: courageous, unbreakable, and free.